Welcome to the Deep Dive, the show where we distill complex topics into actionable insights, helping you become instantly more informed. Today, we're diving headfirst into, well, one of those really make or break moments in life, the job interview.
Oh, absolutely. It's probably one of the highest stakes conversations you'll ever have, isn't it?
It really is. I mean, think about it. In just, 30 to 60 minutes, you're supposed to articulate your entire professional past, showcase your value now, and sell your future to strangers.
Exactly. It's a performance, a negotiation, and definitely a sales pitch, all crammed into one short meeting.
And, for those of you navigating this in English, maybe it's not your first language, the challenge is often amplified. It's not just what you say, it's really about how you say it.
It's so true. The right vocabulary, that perfect turn of phrase, and just a confident, authentic tone can absolutely be the deciding factor, between that polite rejection email and the actual job offer.
Right. So our mission today is really to give you a shortcut, a genuine shortcut to mastering these crucial interactions.
But crucially, we're not here to hand you canned answers or like pre-written scripts.
No way, you'd sound robotic, totally inauthentic, and frankly, who wants that?
Nobody. Instead, this deep dive is about dissecting the architecture of a successful interview. We want to give you strategic frameworks, specific English vocabulary, and, phrasing that helps you sound professional, confident, and really compelling.
Yeah, compelling is the key word. So we'll journey through the whole process. We'll start with the foundations, those unspoken rules. Then we'll tackle those tricky opening questions.
And then dive deep into behavioral questions. That's where the STAR method comes in, which we'll get to. We'll even touch on situational questions, and importantly, the questions you should be asking them.
Right, turning the tables. And we'll wrap up with how to end strong and follow up effectively. So stick with us because by the end, you won't just have notes, you'll have a real strategy.
Exactly. A strategy to walk into any interview room feeling prepared and, well, confident.
Okay, let's jump right in with what we're calling the foundation, the unspoken rules of interview English. These are sort of the meta skills behind every good answer.
And honestly, if there's just one technique you remember from today, let it be the STAR method. It really is the gold standard for answering those "tell me about a time when" questions.
Ah, yes, the behavioral questions.
Exactly. STAR provides a simple, clear structure. It helps you tell a compelling story, but one that's backed by evidence. Interviewers, they love that clarity.
Okay, so for anyone who isn't familiar, can you break down STAR for us? What does it actually stand for?
Sure. STAR is an acronym, S-T-A-R. So S is for situation. Here, you just briefly describe the context. Where were you? What was the project? Basically set the scene in like one or two sentences.
Step brief. Got it. Then T.
Key is for task. What was your specific job or goal in that situation? What challenge were you facing? Again, super concise, maybe one or two sentences just to define your role.
Okay. Situation, task. Now the A.
Right. A is for action. And this is the most important part. It should be the longest section of your answer. Here, you describe the specific steps you took.
Using those strong verbs we'll talk about later.
Exactly. Use strong, active verbs. Explain your thought process. Walk them through what you actually did. This shows how you work, how you think.
So it's the narrative of what you did. Makes sense. And finally, R.
R is for result. What happened because of your actions? What was the outcome? And here's the really crucial bit. Quantify it whenever you possibly can.
The numbers.
Yes, numbers are proof. They show the tangible impact you made. It cuts through any fluff and really sticks in their mind. What did you achieve? Or even, what did you learn? How did it help the company? Just 2 or 3 sentences to nail that positive result.
And the beauty of STAR is it stops you from rambling, right? Gives you that clear beginning, middle, and end.
Precisely. It keeps your stories focused and evidence-based.
Okay, so STAR gives us the structure, but how do we make the content of those stories really stand out? I guess that comes down to word choice.
Absolutely. Which brings us to our toolkit, Professional Power Vocabulary. Swallowing out simple, everyday words for more professional, dynamic ones. It can seriously elevate how people perceive your experience.
Right, instead of just saying, I did this, or I was responsible for.
Yeah, use powerful action verbs. They convey so much more impact.
Okay, give us some examples, like for leadership or taking initiative.
Well, instead of led, you could use spearheaded, orchestrated, coordinated, pioneered, or launched. They just sound much more proactive and significant.
You do. Okay, what about for improvement or growth? Instead of just made it better.
Try optimized, revitalized, streamlined, enhanced, or maximized. They're more precise about how things got better.
Nice. And for teamwork or communication.
Think collaborated, liaised, negotiated, mediated, aligned. Again, much more professional than just worked with or talked to.
And for analyzing or solving problems.
Analyzed, diagnosed, evaluated, resolved. They show a more systematic approach.
Okay, last category. Achievement.
Elevated, with achieved, surpassed, exceeded, secured, or delivered. And don't stop at verbs. Think about adjectives, too.
Ah, good point. So instead of just efficient,
Maybe streamlined, agile, or effective. Instead of plain successful, try profitable, high impact, or perhaps landmark.
and for describing something detailed.
Meticulous, comprehensive. For innovative ideas, groundbreaking, cutting edge, these words really do paint a stronger picture. They really do. But remember, it's not just what you say, it's also how you deliver it. You could have the perfect star answer, use all the power verbs, but if your delivery is off.
It falls flat.
Right.
Which brings us to the delivery, tone and nonverbal communication. This is so critical.
Absolutely vital. Let's start with confidence.
Okay, so speak clearly, right? Moderate pace, don't rush, don't drag, and try to avoid those filler words like, you know.
They really undermine you, don't they? It's tough when you're nervous, but practice helps.
Definitely. And eye contact. If it's virtual, look at the camera, not just the screen. And sit up straight. Your posture says a lot.
It really does. Then there's enthusiasm. Let
Yeah.
your genuine interest show.
Yeah.
A natural smile, some energy in your voice, it makes a difference.
Totally. They want to hire someone who's actually excited about the job.
Exactly. And finally, professionalism. Maintain a respectful, generally formal tone. Even if the interviewer seems casual, you should stay professional.
Good point. And definitely no slang, no gossiping about old bosses, huge red flag, and keep personal stories out of it unless they're directly relevant in a star context.
Okay, foundations laid. Let's move to the opening act. Mastering the core introductory questions. These first few really set the stage.
And the classic opener, almost guaranteed. So tell me about yourself. What are they really asking?
It's not tell me your life story, is it?
Definitely not. They're really saying, give me your professional elevator pitch. Quick, why are you right for this specific job? Under 90 seconds is a good target. Hobbies. Not relevant here.
Okay, so focus pitch. We recommend the present, past, future formula for this. Start with the present, right?
Yeah. Your current role, key responsibilities, maybe a big recent win. Then briefly touch on the past. Connect your previous experience to now, and more importantly, to this job you're interviewing for. Just highlight one or two really relevant things.
Exactly. And wrap up with the future. Why this specific opportunity? Why this company? How does it fit your career goals? Show you've thought about it.
Let's hear that strong example again, the software developer one.
Certainly. I'm a software developer with over 6 years of experience specializing in front-end development, user-centric web applications. In my current role at Tech Solutions, Inc., I spearheaded the redesign of our client-facing portal, which improved user engagement metrics by 30% and decreased load time significantly. Before that, at Innovate Digital, I helped launch a major e-commerce platform, gaining deep experience in payment gateways and security. I'm really passionate about intuitive interfaces, and I was particularly drawn to this role at your company because of your commitment to accessible design. That aligns perfectly with my values and where I want to go next.
See, that's great. It establishes expertise right away, uses a strong verb spearheaded, gives a number, connects past experience, and then ties it all directly to the specific company and role. It's focused.
It's a sales pitch, not a ramble. That's the goal.
Okay, building on that, another super common one. Why are you interested in this role company? What's the hidden question here?
They're digging deeper now. Have you actually researched us? Do you genuinely want this job or just any job? And culturally, mission-wise, do you fit?
Right, so you need to show you've done your homework. For this, we suggest the three-pillar approach. You connect the company, the role, and your skills.
Exactly. Pillar 1, the
Yeah.
company. Show your research. Mention something specific, their mission, a cool project they did, their market position, maybe that green first initiative you found on their site. Shows you looked beyond the job description.
Pillar 2, the role. What specifically in the job description got you excited? Was it the focus on cross-functional teams, the agile methods, mention the actual tasks or skills?
And Pillar 3, the perfect match. This ties it all together. Connect your experience, your aspirations to what the role requires and what the company offers. Like, my background in streamlining workflows plus my PMP cert means I could step in and deliver value fast.
Let's revisit that UX researcher example.
I was immediately drawn to this position for a couple of key reasons. Firstly, I have huge respect for company names, reputation, and customer-centric design. I actually use your app all the time and admire its UX. Secondly, the UX researcher role itself fits my background perfectly. The description mentions needing skills in both qualitative interviews and quantitative data analysis, two areas I've specialized in for 5 years. In my last job, my research plan led to a 15% jump in user retention. The chance to use those skills on a product I admire at a company that clearly values users. That's incredibly exciting for me.
Again, it's specific, shows genuine interest, mentions the product, and gives a quantified achievement. Very strong.
Then you get the classic. What are your greatest strengths? Hidden question. Do you have the skills we actually need, and are you self-aware enough to know it?
Strategy here. Relevant, evidenced, and confident. Pick maybe 2 or 3 strengths, but make sure they are critical for this specific job.
Right. And don't just list them. Provide a brief, concrete example for each, like a mini star story, to prove it.
And then, crucially, connect it back to them. How will that strength benefit this company?
Okay, remember that example. I'd say one of my greatest strengths is streamlining processes for efficiency. In my last role, the team spent 10 hours a week on manual data entry. I took the initiative, learned basic scripting, built an automated system, cut that time down to just 1 hour a week. I saw you're looking for someone to optimize workflows, and I'm confident I could bring that same proactive mindset here. A second strength is my communication, especially bridging technical and non-technical teams, translating complex stuff. I think that'll be a major asset in this cross-functional role.
That nails it. It's relevant, gives a metric, shows initiative, and directly links the strength to their needs. It's not bragging, it's demonstrating value. All right, now for the one everyone kind of dreads. What is your greatest weakness? What are they really asking besides, are you self-aware?
Yeah, they also want to know, can you take feedback? Are you working on yourself? And like you said, are you going to give me that tired, I'm a perfectionist line?
Please don't. It just sounds insincere now, doesn't it?
Totally. It comes across as dodging the question. The best approach is the humble and improving framework. Acknowledge a real but manageable weakness. Importantly, one that isn't a deal breaker for the job.
Right. Don't say you hate teamwork if it's a team-based role.
Exactly. Show self-awareness. How did you realize this was an issue? And then this is key. Demonstrate action. What specific, concrete steps have you taken or are you taking to improve?
And finish on a positive note, maybe mentioning the results of your efforts. Let's recall that delegation example.
Well, in the past, I sometimes found it hard to delegate tasks effectively. I tend to have a strong sense of ownership, and my first instinct was often just to do it myself, to ensure it met my standards. I came to realize, though, that this wasn't scalable. It created bottlenecks, and honestly, it wasn't fair to my team members who wanted growth opportunities. So, to address this, I actually took a management training course focusing on delegation techniques. I also implemented a new project management tool with clear checkpoints. This helps me assign tasks confidently but still stay informed. It's definitely been a learning process, but it's made me a much more effective leader, and it's really empowered my team.
That works so well because it's honest, it shows real self-reflection, details specific actions, and ends on a positive outcome about team empowerment. It turns a potential negative into a story about growth. Okay, let's really get into the heart of the matter, decoding behavioral questions. This is prime STAR method territory. You really need a few solid stories ready to go.
Definitely. Let's start with teamwork and collaboration. Question. Tell me about a time you had a conflict with a colleague. What's the interviewer trying to find out?
Basically, are you professional when things get tough? Can you handle disagreements maturely? Or are you going to cause drama?
Exactly. Your answer needs to focus on professionalism, listening, finding a resolution, and putting team goals first. Remember the graphic designer and copywriter example.
Yeah, the landing page disagreement. The situation was clear. Designer versus copywriter, different ideas, deadline looming.
Right. The action. Instead of digging in, the designer initiated a calm discussion, listened to the copywriter's points, explained their own rationale using data, and then proposed a solution.
Which was the A/B test. Very clever.
Exactly. Collaborative problem solving. And the result. The test proved the visual approach was better, but they incorporated some copy improvements too. The campaign succeeded, and they built a stronger working relationship. That's a perfect conflict resolution story.
Okay, next up, problem solving and adaptability. Describe a situation where you faced an unexpected challenge. We want to see if you crumble or cope, right?
Pretty much. Are you resilient? Can you think on your feet? Or do you panic? You want to showcase analytical skills, maybe some creativity, and definitely composure. That software rollout example was intense.
It really was. Situation. Friday before launch, lead dev out, critical bug found, potential data corruption, big financial risk, high stakes.
Totally. The action taken was key. Immediate team huddle, focus on solutions, not blame, breaking the problem down, fix the bug, manage comms, assigning tasks, communicating proactively and transparently with stakeholders before they panic, and then testing the fix thoroughly.
Super impressive under pressure. And the result? Launched on time, no data loss, got commended for handling the crisis well, and learned about contingency planning. That shows real strength.
All right, leadership and initiative. Tell me about a time you took the lead on a project. Hidden question. Are you proactive? Do you take ownership? Or do you just wait for instructions? And remember,
You don't need a manager title for this one.
exactly. Focus on how you saw a need, stepped up, motivated others, even if they were peers, and achieved something positive.
Yeah.
The disorganized knowledge-based story fits perfectly.
Right. Situation. Messy internal wiki, wasting time, hurting onboarding. It wasn't their job, but they saw the problem.
That's the initiative. Action. Research solutions, got buy-in, led the project, involved the team in workshops, built the structure, ran training, took full ownership.
And the result was huge. Onboarding time halved, hours saved weekly per person, system adopted company-wide. That's demonstrating leadership, title or not.
Last one in the section, handling failure and mistakes. Describe a time you made a mistake at work. This is all about integrity and accountability. Do you own up? Do you learn?
Yeah, they're not looking for someone who's never made a mistake. They want to see how you handle it. Immediate ownership is crucial. Focus on the fix and show what you learned. The junior analyst story was powerful.
Definitely. Situation. Pulled wrong data. Report sent to client. Ouch.
Big ouch. But the action was immediate and direct. Went straight to the manager, owned it completely, this is my fault, already had the corrected data, suggested contacting the client immediately and apologizing.
Took responsibility head on. And the result? Uncomfortable call? Yes. But the client appreciated the honesty. The real result was the lesson learned. Implementing a personal QA checklist, never making that mistake again. That shows maturity and a commitment to improvement.
Okay, shifting gears slightly to peering into the future, handling situational questions. These aren't about your past, but how you'd handle hypothetical scenarios in their company.
Right. There's no past star story here, so you need to show your thinking process, like that common one. Imagine you get multiple urgent projects with competing deadlines. How do you prioritize?
Your answer needs to show a logical system, proactive communication, and managing expectations. You can't just say, I work hard.
No, you need steps. First, you'd assess tasks. Maybe using that urgency versus importance matrix idea. Figure out what really needs doing first versus what just feels noisy.
Then, critically, proactively communicate with stakeholders. Tell them what's on your plate. Ask questions to understand true deadlines and impacts. Maybe negotiate timelines if needed. Don't just suffer in silence.
Exactly. Managing expectations is key. And finally, look for efficiencies. Can anything be delegated? Can similar tasks be grouped? Showing this systematic approach prove you can handle pressure logically.
Okay, this next part is super important and often underestimated. Turning the tables. The questions you should ask when they say, do you have any questions for us?
Never, ever say no. Please don't.
Right. It makes you look disengaged or unprepared. This is your chance to show you're smart, you're interested, and you're evaluating them too.
It's a two-way street. The strategy is simple. Prepare 3 to 5 thoughtful questions. Maybe categorize them.
Good idea. Like questions about the role itself.
Yeah, like, could you describe what success looks like in this role in the first 90 days? Or maybe, what are the biggest challenges the person in this position might face initially? Shows you're thinking about hitting the ground running.
Or about the team. Could you tell me a bit about the team I'd be working with? Or what's the team dynamic generally like? Helps you gauge fit.
And definitely about the company or culture. How does the company support professional development? Or, referencing your research, you mentioned specific company value on your website. How does that value play out day to day here?
That last one is great because it shows you did your homework. The questions you ask really do say a lot about you.
They absolutely do. And just as important are the questions to avoid. Anything easily found on Google, basic stuff about the company, don't ask that.
And hold off on salary and benefits questions, right? Unless they bring it up first. That usually comes later.
Right. And try to ask open-ended questions, not ones that just get a yes or no. You want to encourage conversation.
Okay, we're nearing the end. The final handshake. Concluding with confidence and following up. How you finish matters.
It really does. Leave a strong final impression. Deliver a brief, confident closing statement before you leave or sign off.
What should that include?
Thank them sincerely for their time. Reiterate your enthusiasm for the role, maybe even more so after the conversation. Briefly state your confidence that your skills are a great match, and express excitement about the possibility of working there.
Something like, "Thank you again for taking the time today. This conversation has made me even more excited about this opportunity. Based on everything we discussed, I'm very confident my experience and key skill would be a strong asset to your team, and I'm really enthusiastic about the possibility of joining."
Perfect. Short, confident, positive. And then the absolute non-negotiable follow-up.
The thank you note within 24 hours, right?
Absolutely. Personalized email, it's professional courtesy, but it also reinforces your interest and keeps you top of mind. We suggest the 3-paragraph rule.
Okay, break it down. Paragraph 1.
Gratitude and enthusiasm. Simple thank you by name. Reiterate your strong interest.
Paragraph 2.
Connection and value. This is key. Reference a specific point from your conversation, something interesting they said, or a particular challenge discussed. This proves you were listening intently. Then briefly link it back to your skills or experience again. I was particularly interested when you mentioned X, as my experience in Y could directly help address that.
Nice touch. Shows you're already thinking about solutions. And paragraph 3.
The close. Reaffirm your enthusiasm one last time, state your belief it's a great fit, and don't forget to include your phone number and maybe a link to your LinkedIn profile at the end. Makes it easy for them.
So, wrapping this all up, what's the big takeaway? Mastering a job interview in English, it's a skill, isn't it?
It absolutely is. And like any skill, you get better with preparation and practice. The frameworks like STAR, the power vocabulary, understanding the why behind the questions, these are your tools.
It's about shifting your mindset, too. Stop seeing it as this terrifying interrogation where you need the single right answer.
Exactly. Think of it more as a structured conversation. A chance for you to tell your professional story compellingly, and also for you to learn if it's the right place for you.
Prepare those stories using STAR. Practice them out loud, maybe even record yourself until they feel natural, not robotic.
Walk in ready to demonstrate not just what you did, but the value you will bring.
So our final thought. With this kind of strategic approach, you really can transform yourself from feeling like a nervous candidate into presenting as a compelling future colleague. You can walk into that room or log into that call, not with anxiety, but with that calm confidence that comes from knowing your value and knowing exactly how to express it.